Welcome to Business Talk, presented in collaboration with the University of Rio Grande and the Ohio State University South Centers, from the heart of southeastern Ohio at the University of Rio Grande TV studio. Our goals are simple: promote the University of Rio Grande and the Ohio State University South Centers, as well as advocate local small business and their support organizations. More importantly, promote southeastern Ohio as a wonderful place to live, explore, and learn. There are many different ways you can find us. The University of Rio Grande Cable Access Channel 17, live online at blogtalkradio.com, and on YouTube if you are unable to catch our show live. Introducing our co-hosts, Jason Winters, Mike Thompson, Patrick Dengel. Thank you for tuning in. We hope you enjoy the show.
Hey, welcome back to our show. It's a pleasure to be on the show again. And we have three great shows in the next 3 hours.
Who's going to be our first guest?
Well, our first guest is going to be Susie Fitch. Susie, when she was involved with some of the classwork that I was undertaking, found out a lot of neat and nifty things about Susie. She's a non-traditional student who has taken the class to look at developing a potential business. And I found out all sorts of neat things about her running a business. She also works here at the University of Rio Grande in the Human Resources section or department, and wanted to talk a little bit about that. As a matter of fact, we found some cartoon pictures that we're going to sort of enjoy. So I appreciate her doing that. And then
Our 2 o'clock hour?
Our 2 o'clock hour, we have Dwayne Rigsby. It's our Agri Talk. Dwayne Rigsby, Mike Thompson, and Brad Bergerford, and they're going to be talking about strawberries.
Nice, sweet.
Yes, and I'm looking forward to the big bowl of strawberries that Brad and Dwayne are going to be bringing, so we can enjoy them.
Sounds good. And then 3 o'clock hour?
We have Dr. Tom Worley, the South Center's chat, in which Tom has grabbed Dwayne, in which they're going to be talking about technology and tools. So it really looks like a good lineup. But the current individual that here is Susie Fitch. Susie Fitch has been working with the Human Resources department here at the University of Rio Grande. She's a student, a wife, a mother. She's been involved in a number of different things. Welcome.
Hi, thank you for having me today.
Well, we're glad that you were able to come. You know, you sort of have a variety of different experiences.
I do.
And they range from really owning your own business, taking care of human resources,
Right?
being a student. You know, non-traditional students, we always ask, why do you want to do your why?
Take courses.
Yeah.
And well, I started many years ago on my degree, and at this stage in my life, I just had my heart set on accomplishing that. So I wanted to come back and take some courses.
I think that's
a lot better
fantastic.
place than Rio.
Susie,
Yeah.
how long have you been here at Rio?
Working here for 2 years, a little over 2 years. In January was 2 years.
Wow, time
So
flies when you're
it
having fun.
does.
Seems like only yesterday.
I know. Yeah, it's a busy place. A lot of variety, a lot of things going on, but it's really great.
Well,
What degree work are you working on?
I just finished up my associates in accounting, and now I'm working toward a bachelor's in business management.
Very interesting.
Yeah, I'm
So
excited.
what's your career goals?
To be quite honest, my reason for finishing my bachelor's degree is personal. It's to accomplish a goal that I set many years ago and started many years ago. So now I'm just at that point where I wanted to have that under my belt, say I did that.
You know, Pat, I hear that an awful lot when non-traditional students, and we keep throwing that term around. What's non-traditional mean?
well,
I
it's
mean, I'm
those
very
that-
non-traditional.
Well-
Aren't you very non-traditional? We're quite quirky.
It's my understanding that if you're right out of college or right out of high school. You're the 18 to 22 year crowd.
That's traditional.
That's traditional. And I know that they use other words, etc., but anyone that is a little bit older, a little bit more experienced, who has done other kinds of things.
And you throw life in there too.
Yeah.
You've got individuals who have responsibilities at home with children, with spouses, with family obligations. They're independently, on their own.
Yes.
Those are not your traditional student that's coming right out of high school and going and living in a dorm. So they have some different challenges in life. You have a few other obligations besides going to class, right?
That's correct. Absolutely. I am a mom of 2 boys, and we are members and do hold offices in our local church. I'm a treasurer there, and I have a Mary Kay business that I operate.
I think that's fantastic.
I know.
Business owner, business leader. Yes.
I do a few things. Yeah.
I'd like to find out a little bit more about the Mary Kay business. But before we do that, you have had a lot of experience in the business world.
Correct. Yeah. Prior to coming to Rio to work in the Human Resource Department, I ran an Avon business, and I'm still active in Avon. And then prior to that, I actually worked at the Wiseman Agency, which is a local insurance agent in Gallipolis, Ohio. And I worked there for 13, 14 years. I was a licensed agent, so we had to do our continuing education classes. Every 2 years have so many hours worth of continuing education
Life
classes.
and health?
I did not. I only did personal lines.
Personal lines?
Which is your personal auto, home, that sort of thing. A boat, a camper, things like motorcycle, things like that you might own. So, but yeah, Wiseman's offers life and health and commercial lines policies, but I worked in the personal lines department.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
coming to Rio, did they give you any kind of credit for your life experience?
Absolutely. I had to sign up for the class, prior learning experience class, and prepare a portfolio. And in that portfolio, you try to gear it towards saying, hey, these are the courses that it takes to get my degree, and here's what I've already accomplished just in my everyday life where I've worked and things I've done. And you actually show documentation and proof that you've accomplished those things. And thank you, Jason Winters. I met with you, and we reviewed that and discussed it. And I think I applied for 6 classes to be given credit for, and I obtained 5 of those.
So that's not an easy process.
No, it did take me over a year and a half to get everything compiled. I think one of the most challenging parts of my portfolio was when I had attended here back in 1989, 1990, I did an internship with the auditor, the state auditor office. And I had, of course, that many years later, I had nothing in my personal files to show that I had done that, So I actually contacted them, and they were able to send me my entire personnel file. So, but that took a little time.
Sure.
It took a little time for them to dig and get it, and I was very thankful that they did.
I know yours was not a short file. Yours was a very comprehensive folder,
Yeah,
and I know
yeah.
I don't remember how many pages you actually had compiled.
I
for
don't
those
know
classes,
that I know the
but,
number.
I just reviewed one a couple weeks back, and it was 300 pages.
Wow.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
it's not as simple as just saying, hey, I've done this, can you give me credit?
No.
You got to go through the
Correct.
process of proving that you actually
That's
that.
right. Obviously, Rio doesn't want to hand out degrees and say that you're competent in an area that you are not and don't have experience in and or no education in. So you guys are very thorough on checking those things out, and you want documentation to show that they're eligible.
But we also value the contribution that you bring to the institution as well.
Thank you.
That is very true. Jason, what really shocked me was over the weekend, my wife, we've been married for 42 years.
Wanda, bless her heart.
Yes, she put up with me that long. She said, I think I'm going to go back. She's retired. I think I'm going to go back and take some art classes, which brings up a very interesting point.
See, I thought you were going to say she wanted to take your small business management class.
Well,
Or does she? We won't go there.
I love her too much that she should not be in my class.
So she's going to take art.
She's going to take art, and she's going to be involved in some of the artistic kinds of things. And no degree. It's that
Personal
learning,
interest, yeah.
personal interest, and that's another unique thing, you know, in acquiring higher education.
Well, you know,
It's just not
we've
a-
talked about that in the past. You know, if I was not working on my doctorate right now, there's a couple programs that I would really like to do for personal interest.
Yes.
One is our fine woodworking program.
Yes.
What a wonderful set of
Yes.
skill sets you can pick up in that program and create
is
some
true.
beautiful works of art.
That is true.
And the other one is welding. I could get an awful lot done around the farm if I knew how to weld.
I might say that I would love to take computer classes.
Computer
Do
classes?
some IT things. When I was here in 1989, my major was accounting to do a bachelor's degree,
Yeah.
and a minor was in computer science. So I would like to get back into that too. So some classes like that would be interesting.
What I would probably take is some of the classes that Mike offers. You know, and that's in the digital video. And,
Right.
you know, learning how to.
But
do
aren't
some
we
of the-
already in that class? I mean, aren't we being experimented by him every week?
I think so.
Yeah,
You
it's
know,
hard to tell what kind of background is behind us right now.
That's true. Or are we wearing mustaches or not?
Yeah, you know, he's probably superimposing stuff over top of us as we speak.
Yes. So there are a lot of good educational programs, and you have been able to take them.
Yes.
Can we talk a little bit about salesmanship, just for a minute?
Sure.
You have been in the Avon business, the Wiseman Insurance,
Right.
as a personal insurance agent.
Personal agent. Yeah.
And then you said another business right now that you're
Mary
involved-
Kay.
Mary Kay. And what are some? It's financially rewarding, correct?
Correct. It is.
But what are a couple things that a person must have to be successful?
A great personality, be outgoing. You need to know, I guess, how to sell your product. You need to be informative about the product, but you need people skills. You really do. Customer service. You need to know your customers, know their needs, kind of reach out to them maybe with new things that you feel that they could be beneficial to them that they may want to try. But you really do need to know your customer and service them in a very good fashion.
So how can you tell Pat that he needs a different type of foundation?
I might say, Pat.
You needed another buddy.
Makeup.
Yeah.
Well, again, this is where Mike comes in. He
Yes.
makes my real dark brown hair real light.
So you can be
Yes.
distinguished?
I guess.
Show that maturity?
Yes, I guess. And he makes my stomach a lot bigger than what it really is. You know?
So you appear to be jolly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So you know, it's at Mike's skills. But I think what you're saying is very, very true. You know, having that ability to know how to work with people,
Right.
not not manipulate them.
No, correct. You have to kind of anticipate their needs and be able to maybe even guide them down a direction that they weren't thinking too, you know. So, but
Similar to what Jason does.
right, yeah. Give them some direction.
Yeah, give them some direction. And so, you know, in your accounting classes and your accounting skills, you sort of gravitated toward human resources.
I do like that.
And tell us a little bit about what are some of the things that a human resource individual does?
We, like I said, there's such a variety. We actually do the posting for open job positions. We schedule the interviews and set those up. When and if the person gets the position, we actually have them come in and do an orientation with them. We get their paperwork. We enter them in our payroll system, which is ADP. We set them up with a personnel file, and we watch their probationary period. We send out for evaluations, employee evaluations. Obviously, we do payroll, that's quite a
you're
big process.
instrumental when someone has a problem with benefits. They come right into
Absolutely,
you.
that's right. We do, and you know, if we don't know the answer, we absolutely know where to call, who to call to get the answer. But We actually have a pretty good group.
So you're really an advocate for the employees here at the university.
Absolutely. We encourage, if you have issues, if you just need help with something, that's what we're there for. We're there for you, you know, we're there for the employees. Absolutely.
Susie, I found some of these. I don't think you've seen these.
Oh, gosh.
But I found some of these on the website.
Should I be
and
scared?
it sort of helps discuss what we
should be
did.
scared.
Should I be
Very
scared?
Very afraid.
Can we see one of the, there we go. And here we have the HR software company choose the name, and show me how crazy and absurd word.
Work, talent, job, hire, career, people, plus.
And so it is true. You are going around and you're helping other individuals choose those kind of things. Can we go to the next one? And this one says, yes. And I would imagine, and how many times have we sat down with the traditional students and said, you know, the activities that an individual does, social media is one of them, but the activities that an individual, like being involved in a fraternity or a sorority, and at lunchtime, we talked a little bit about 4-H and
Right.
being involved with different activities there.
Yes.
Facebook is good,
Yes.
but
Well, it's just one tool.
It's one tool.
We're talking about networking. You know, it's not always what you know. What you know is important, but in a lot of cases, it's who you know as well to make those different
Right.
connections, to find
That's
out
right.
what jobs are available and how you get your foot in the door.
True. And another thing that I don't know that younger folks realize is some things can come back to haunt you.
yes.
So you really need to
I
watch what you post,
Yes,
what you share,
yes,
your attitude.
yes. It's my
Yeah.
my understanding that some companies, I don't think Ohio State University does, but some really go into looking at what your
Social
what your
media
past
accounts,
is.
yeah.
Yeah.
I bet they do more than you realize.
I do too.
Huh. Great.
There's well, actually, it is. I mean, you start to think about. You mentioned 4-H.
Yeah.
Those
Yep.
individuals that you have volunteering in your county,
Correct.
are supervising our children.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
true.
You really do want to know the background
Yes.
of those individuals
That's right.
that have
That's right.
control of your children
That's
in
right.
their home during meetings. It's important.
Yes.
And sometimes I have seen where we think something is funny this year, but 10 years down the road, boy, you have to be very careful. That does come back to haunt you. So
You know, I always live by the thing: if mom wouldn't be happy with it, it's probably not appropriate.
that's a good rule.
That is good. Yes.
That is very good.
That is.
How does your mom know me, though? But can we see another picture?
Oh, poor Wanda.
This one, you know, I met someone wonderful in the chat room, and then I found out it was a cat. and oftentimes, just because somebody says something on the chat room
Right.
or things, do we really know?
It doesn't make it the gospel, does it?
No, it doesn't. And then here's protesting against technology, even back in prehistoric times. Somebody was against the wheel. And I would imagine in the human relations, the human resources that you were involved in, there are those that are comfortable with a certain way of doing things. And then when you bring somebody new in, they're less comfortable.
That's true.
And I would venture to say that in human resources, you have to have a way of helping individuals communicate and have diversity.
Well, we also have a whole set of training that we are required to go through, and you can talk more about that.
Yeah, we have, it's called Workplace Answers. We go through a vendor and they supply us with training. So there are FERPA issues that we want.
FERPA is?
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
Well, that is where we are using the correct ways of identifying our students.
And not
It's
sharing.
protecting their
Yeah.
personal information.
Not sharing.
Yeah.
You know, I can't.
Their
When mom and dad call and say, "How's Joey doing?" Well, I can't tell you how Joey's doing.
Right.
I can tell Joey how Joey's doing. And
Yeah.
I would suggest you ask Joey.
That's right. And then there's harassment training, diversity training. There's all kinds of different things that we need our employees to really be on board with and familiar with. Yeah.
You know, it's rather interesting. University of Rio Grande, Rio Grande Community College, like Ohio State University, is a international school. And it basically means the University of Rio Grande welcomes international students. How many flags? There's a driveway, and it signifies every flag that an individual from another country.
Right. We have several. I don't know the exact number that's out there on Bevo Francis Drive, but there's several.
Yeah, and
You know, I know from just my classes, I've got several from the Middle East and several from England, Scotland, Wales, that area. Yeah.
and you know, fostering that. Well, people come in with different customs,
Absolutely.
and people come in with different levels of expectation,
That's true.
and that's sort of what makes a university really nice. Is the fact that when you start getting in an influx of students that are operating a different way, then
Yes.
it sort of makes everyone sort of aware that just because we do things one way doesn't mean it can't be done another.
That's correct.
Right. We need to be tolerant of each other as well. You look at some of the different customs. If you look at places like Germany, and you know, when they say a deadline, they mean a deadline.
Yes.
When you set a deadline for people like in Mexico, that's kind of like a suggested time it gets finished.
Yes.
And if you say to the same person in Jamaica, they say, "Yeah, man." No problem, man. Yeah, it's not going to get done. So it's just a different culture. They don't mean any disrespect by
Right.
it. It's just how they were raised. It's how they are influenced. But when you get all of those three different nationalities all together working together, it takes a lot of tolerance.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And I would imagine that in the human resources department, you get some interesting individuals that need counseling, and I know that from past experience, you know, your office has handled those very well.
Good. Yes.
The other thing that I also notice on universities is not only the students, but the faculty are extremely important.
Yes.
And with the university, I don't know how many outsiders, and when I say outsiders, people from Southern Ohio,
Okay.
come to teach, but you have a variety of them.
Absolutely.
Starting with the president all the way down through the provost and the deans, the chair people. You know, you're not from this necessarily this area, but that becomes important, doesn't it?
Absolutely, it does. We have a family picnic that we usually try to do for our employees and their families. And one thing that we had to pay attention to was the food that we serve. You know, there has to be something that everyone can enjoy.
Huh.
And the activities and things like that. We just want to make sure it's a broad selection. Yeah.
I find that rather interesting.
Yeah.
You know, here you brought 30 powerful tips to be an outstanding human relations professional. I don't think we'll get to many of them, but a couple. You know, one of the things that you had indicated is helping individuals to manage their time well.
Absolutely. We have different tasks that we have to perform, and I know every department has their own agendas, and so you have to be able to decipher what's urgent and manage your time well, right? And I know you probably have a dozen things that are urgent or important, but you
Yes, I promised I'd have dinner with you today, and that didn't happen.
you didn't make it to dinner.
There was 2 other urgent people that needed to see me
Exactly.
first.
That's right. Things happen.
And who is the director of the human resources?
Chris, nurse.
Chris Nurse. And you know, I know that Chris is a true believer in mentorship.
Yes.
Especially if somebody has come here from another place, or
Absolutely.
it really is helpful to team up with someone that
Yes.
knows
he's-
the layout of
That's
the
right,
land.
yeah. Yeah, he and Derek Rhodes, he's the payroll and benefits coordinator, and they're both great.
I was just
Well,
looking at some of the others.
Pat, we got about 4 minutes left. So Susie, what is it that we haven't talked about that you really want to share with our listening audience?
I guess I would like to make sure everybody realizes that I know they hear Rio is a family, but it really is. You know, I don't have a big campus college experience to compare it to, but it's just family here. It's just close knit, and you care about one another, and you want each person in each department to succeed, and you do your best to help out in any way you can, and I really feel that that's important.
And just like every good family, we all have our crazy uncle, right?
Sure.
So, you know,
Oh, sure. Bring that up again.
but it is. I mean, it really is. It is.
It
You know, my experience with Rio Grande goes back, wow, even into the early 70s. My grandmother used to work here.
Oh, wow.
So, you know, in the summertime, when I was out of school, I
were
would
here.
come to work with Grandma in the summertime.
Yeah.
And I had administrators and board members pulling quarters out of my ear. And, you know, I'd sit on the laps, and then we'd go to Bob Evans, the
Yeah.
old restaurant. And
Yeah.
it really is a family environment.
There
you know.
is, and the things you can do here, basketball courts, indoor, outdoor, you have the pool and the fitness center, and we have fine arts that seem to always have something going on. Our library, you know, the bookstore, cyber cafe. I mean, we have just unlimited.
It really is a
things.
unique resource for Southeastern Ohio,
It really
especially the
is.
little area of Rio Grande.
Exactly. That's right. Yes.
Well, Susie, I really appreciate. For the listening audience, she was in one of the business management classes in which.
Now, was she in your small business management
Yes.
class? So she actually put together a business
Business
plan?
plan.
I did.
What was your
And-
business plan about?
I wanted to open a family fun center.
Cool.
It would have been sort of like, I guess everybody probably experiences it when they go on vacation, the go-kart riding and batting cages and miniature golf and arcades and a rock wall, like rock climbing. Pat and I met, and we figured the numbers weren't quite there for this area, so.
I was very pleased. She had called me a little bit concerned and said, the financial analysis doesn't cash flow out. You know,
It takes a few customers
Exactly. That's what we
to make
figured
that
out.
profitable.
yeah.
You can't charge the amount that it would take with so few customers. They just wouldn't do it. So to keep your price down, you'd have to have quite a bit of traffic.
So the coursework, you know, is designed to not only look at starting a business, but also look at making sure financially
Correct.
It's well worth it.
feasible. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely. You don't want to invest in something or your time and not be able to
I understand.
So,
have it fly.
yeah, just because you can't get the business started doesn't mean it wasn't a good business plan.
True. That's right. That's absolutely true.
Susie, I want to thank you very much for number one being my student, number two for the work that you do here,
Thank
and
you.
number three for coming on our show and talking just a little bit about some of the things that you're doing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you.
Upcoming at 2 o'clock, we have Brad Bergerford and Dwayne Rigsby, who are going to be on
Strawberries.
strawberries. I was going to say agritalk, but I can't get that out. but they're going to be talking about strawberries. Stay tuned. I'm Patrick.
I'm Jason.
I'm Susie.
Thank you for listening and have a great rest of the day.